Greetings from Jeddah and from a region that is facing a tsunami of change, exactly the same values we have all been working for and for which the UN has been established, the values of we the people. Greetings to Mahnaz and her team at Women Learning Partnership for organizing the meeting and inviting me to participate. And of course, greetings to Michelle and all the team at UN Women, for whom we all are supportive and for whom we wish a great deal of success. And greetings, of course, to all of you friends who have come from different parts to speak about how to support UN Women. I am with you with my heart and my mind. I'm supposed to speak about my experience at the UN from a global and regional perspective. And that's a huge topic that I can never speak about it in such few lines. However, I will I will make a few points in terms of what lessons I have learned. The first one, if there was no UN, we would have to create a UN because it is based on the values of equality of all, democracy, and because the charter begins with we the people. The second lesson, that we as development actors should be focused on we the people, not we, our organizations, not we, the donors, not we, the staff only, but also we, the people. The third point is that the UN is set up to work with member states, but member states have progressively learned the value of civil society. And I believe that UN Women can play a very important role in bringing together a dialogue between governments and civil society and to break the feelings of tension, fear, distrust between both parties. The UN as a whole can be a safe space for different views to come together, express their points of view and find solutions. And therefore, I believe that UN Women can be that safe space where different points of views can come. And therefore, UN Women can bring together, as part of the UN, a variety of opinions. What we have learned from Tahrir Square is that the people's movement is practically faceless. It's the movement of the silent majority, the people about whom we all say we want to work and we want to move them forward. And we can learn from that as civil societies that as much as the process of Tahrir was about democratization, we need to democratize also our civil society organizations. The sixth point is about the Tahrir revolution has given us a clear message about people's participation, and we must seriously ponder it and think about it. What does that mean in terms of our strategies and the way we work? Also, it has given us clear messages about young people. The youth of today are the makers of today, and they are the leaders of tomorrow. And therefore, they think differently, they have a view of their world, and we need to listen to them and bring them with us all the time. More importantly, the Tahrir Square showed us the unimaginable, the traditional politicians listening to the young demonstrators. And when the negotiations went not to their liking, the young demonstrators said no. And I believe this is a big message for all of us also to listen to. Mohammed Hassanein Hakel, a most prominent Arab strategic political analyst, when asked about his role in all of this movement, he said, "I am the setting sun. The sun is rising through the young people of Egypt. We have to believe in this, and we have to believe in young people, and we have to give them leadership positions in our organizations." Another lesson we learned from Tahrir is women of all colors and creeds and religions and ideologies were out on equal footing. It did not matter how they looked, what they were dressed. Western-looking women locked arms with women wearing a scarf, women in traditional garbs, women with niqab. Again, they were all united in one message: democracy, human rights, dignity, and equality. It did not matter, and I think this is the lesson we can learn. We should not judge women by what they wear on their head. We should judge them by what they have in their head. And another amazing development in Square Tahrir is the absence of harassment among the demonstrators. All kinds of harassment were absent, including sexual harassment. And this gives us a direction that sexual harassment, violence against women can be eliminated if we have the right environment and context. Another amazing development is the development of seeing Christians and Muslims together, working together for one aim, democracy and equality for all. And that's why dialogue among religions is very important to bring unity to the issues that are at hand, national issues that deal with equality and democracy. A final lesson is that we saw discipline we have never seen before. One of the commentators said that he has seen many revolutions, but he has never seen a revolution that cleans after itself. This means young people have shown us the real meaning and manifestation of what ownership is about. Now, what does all this mean for UN Women? Few pointers. To me, it means that UN Women, as an entity of the UN, must ensure that it is inclusive of all voices and that it has the convening power of bringing conflicting views together to reach a common agenda, a common way of working together for democracy, equality, and well-being of all people. Two, it also means that UN Women is an organization not only about women, but about women and men and the relationships. And therefore, it's very critical to ensure that young people are part of UN Women, both men and women, so that they will make UN Women today and they will become its leaders tomorrow. Three, UN Women is the conscience of the UN and the world in terms of the rights of women and the relationship between men and women, and the spectrum of gender relations and empowerment. So I'm asking you to ensure that UN Women does not just become an organization for women, but rather an organization on gender relations. I hope that UN Women can be the organization that will influence people and institutions through its gender perspective and its understanding of the cultural context. I also hope that UN Women will be able to bring in young people, young leadership of men and women together to support it. Becoming a reference point is very critical about all issues of gender inside the UN and outside of the UN. Being the voice of the SG on accountability within the UN and the voice of the General Assembly of member states outside is also very critical to ensure that programs are all engendered. Becoming the safe space where difficult issues of gender, femininity, masculinity, culture, religion, and politics are discussed, UN Women can be inclusive. We all know what needs to be done. We think, and we say that we know the answers, but we also need to listen to the people themselves who know what they want and they know how they want to get it done. Finally, we have seen that Tahrir Square has told us all of that. My question is at the end, am I asking too much of UN Women? Maybe yes, knowing the limitations and the constraints within the UN. But I am hopeful because UN Women is being born at a time of real national transformations, beginning with my own world, but I'm sure it's going to spread to other parts of the world. And one day we will see the sunshine and fresh air coming to all the countries. And in many ways, UN Women, led by Michelle's strategic and very capable leadership, is very much central to this movement of change. I hope to see and listen to your discussions virtually at some point, and I wish you success.